All right, Mike Heck here for MMAfighting.com, answering another question of the day from the MMA fighting community. This one comes from the world of Instagram from Antonio asking, Mike, what was your reaction to the Brian Ortega chaos? The reports the fight was off, then it being on, then it being at a catchweight, and topped off with Ortega looking like death to the 12th power in the face-off with Aljamain Sterling. Yes, all of those things happened on Thursday night ahead of UFC Shanghai. We obviously looked into it once the reports started coming out that the fight was off. I spoke with a lot of people. The messaging was essentially Brian Ortega is struggling bad. The fight might not happen. It's in jeopardy, but it's not off yet. And there were others like me who I was speaking to that were trying to find out what actually was happening in Shanghai, but the messaging seemed pretty consistent that Ortega was on the struggle bus. Then T-City steps on the scale. I'm not going to mince words. He looked absolutely terrible. And then he slowly, and I mean slowly, tortoised his way towards Aljamain Sterling during that face-off, and he looked like he was going to fall over and off of the damn stage. And as of this moment, on this Friday afternoon as we speak, the fight is still on, and I would not be shocked if that changed. In fact, there is a part of me that hopes it does, because Brian Ortega does not look like a guy who should be playing kickball, let alone getting in a fist fight. I hope he's okay, and I hope Aljo is getting an extra big bag of money for sticking with this, because I feel like Aljamain Sterling has been getting hosed a lot in this situation, especially if you take him at his word about the 5-round stuff. And who knows, maybe the UFC will also reward him for his flexibility in keeping this fight on the card, because let's be honest, main event is interesting. I think we all know what's going to happen there. There's a couple of other interesting fights, but I think the one that most MMA fans are looking at is Aljamain Sterling versus Brian Ortega. I think it's the best fight on the entire card. So maybe Aljo's going to get rewarded for this. I wouldn't bet on it based on past precedent, but in an ideal world, at worst, Aljo should get the winner of the John Silva-Diego Lopez fight at Noche UFC if Aljo gets his hand raised tomorrow, and maybe he slides his way into a title fight. Who the hell knows? But again, the most important thing, I just hope Brian Ortega is okay. I hope the right decision is made in the end. And if this fight does happen, hopefully Ortega remains okay and no longer term damage happens. Thank you for the question, Antonio. Back on Monday to kick off another week of the question of the day segment. Look for a post in the feed on MMAfighting.com. I'll drop it in there on Sunday, and you can start sending those questions in. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy the fisticuffs.